Part 5, Poisoned at the Grocery Store, Wheat, Sugar, and Pastry. Tories display endless aisles of bread, crackers, cookies, cereal, and pasta, while people consume wheat daily without questioning its origin. Unlike traditional fields, today's grain is manipulated through intensive breeding and, in some cases, genetic modification to maximize yield, corporate profit, and efficiency. Scientists work on wheat in laboratories to develop super crops and faster production, while regulators approve new varieties without long-term health studies for everyday eaters. Modern grain is engineered to resist disease, stand strong, and withstand harsh weather through chemical treatments, gamma irradiation, and complex breeding programs. Gene-edited strains are tested for disease resistance and baking quality. Yet new products often reach the market before anyone has studied their effects over decades of daily use. People rarely associate bread consumption with health issues because they rarely question the origin or safety of the grain they eat each day. Wheat fields are sprayed with glyphosate, one of the most widely used herbicides in modern agriculture. Glyphosate is toxic to plants and can leave residues in food. Animal and lab studies link glyphosate residues to disruption of gut bacteria, potential immune changes, and concerns about cancer and endocrine effects. Observational research has also associated glyphosate use with higher rates of some cancers, birth outcomes, and kidney problems in exposed communities. Pesticide exposure is not just about weeds and bugs. Pesticides can harm developing babies, lower IQ in children, delay development, and make diabetes more likely, according to multiple pesticide health studies. Long-term exposure has been associated with organ damage, memory loss, insulin resistance, and mood changes. Some fields use chemicals that remain detectable in wheat products even after baking. After harvest, wheat becomes more vulnerable to chemical abuse. Industrial milling crushes, grinds, and heats wheat until most of the bran and germ are removed. White flour is left almost pure starch. His flour is then bleached with chlorine dioxide or benzoyl peroxide, and potassium bromate is used in some brands as a dough improver. Potassium bromate is banned in the European Union, Canada, Brazil, China, India, and many other countries because it is classified as possibly carcinogenic to humans and linked to kidney and thyroid damage in animal studies. It still appears in some U.S. breads and rolls. Bread factories mix flour and additives in large vats, add preservatives, and ship frozen dough nationwide. Local bakeries often bake this frozen dough as fresh bread. Anti-mold agents such as calcium propionate and propionic acid are added to keep bread soft for weeks. These ingredients are linked in sensitive people to migraines, hyperactivity, skin rashes, and gastrointestinal upset. Read improvers aid factory production but add no nutrition. Dough conditioners and flavor enhancers are common in commercial breads. Or cysteine, often made from human hair or feathers, shortens mixing times and softens dough. Zodocarbonamide is used to bleach or condition flour, but it is banned in some countries due to links to asthma and potential cancer concerns. Ono and diglycerides are emulsifiers derived from vegetable oils or animal fats. They extend shelf life, but may raise blood fat levels and promote inflammation. Pesticides and natural toxins can stick around in wheat products even after high heat baking. Our silos and storage bins may harbor mold or mycotoxins. Flatoxins from Aspergillus molds are dangerous and can survive the baking process. They are potent liver toxins and recognized liver cancer risks. Reed sold in grocery stores is often stripped of its natural nutrients. White flour loses most of its fiber, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats in milling. Companies enrich flour with synthetic vitamins, but these do not recreate the whole grain package White bread is digested more quickly than many candy bars, leading to blood sugar spikes that trigger hunger. Most processed wheat products, white bread, buns, pizza, pasta, cookies, cakes, and crackers, contain added sugar or corn syrup to boost taste and shelf appeal. Sugar and refined starches are quickly digested, triggering rapid insulin spikes and feeding belly fat. His blood sugar roller coaster tires your pancreas and raises the risk of diabetes and obesity. Children who eat more processed bread and wheat-based foods show higher rates of fatty liver disease and metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, a cluster of belly fat, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol, sets the stage for diabetes, heart attack, and stroke later in life. These diets often lack fiber and essential nutrients, increasing the risk of digestive upset and inflammation. Heat-driven insulin resistance throws the body's hormone system off balance and worsens chronic inflammation, which is now tied to conditions like arthritis, dementia, and cancer. Newer grain varieties contain more gluten than many older crops used for traditional baking. Gluten helps dough rise and gives bread its chewy texture, which most people enjoy. Unfortunately, a higher gluten content also makes digestion harder and can increase inflammation in sensitive individuals who regularly eat it. Some people report rashes, headaches, stomach pain, and mood swings after eating baked goods, as even without a formal diagnosis of celiac disease. Bread dough and commercial baked goods often use instant yeast, which accelerates rising and reduces factory time. These yeasts can be harder to digest for some people, leading to bloating and gas. Our dough is typically easier to digest because fermentation helps break down gluten and creates natural acids and preservatives. Industrial yeast lacks these benefits and is bred to be consistent and fast, not gentle on sensitive guts. Preservatives in wheat products include calcium propionate, potassium sorbate, and, in some cases, sulfites. People report gut pain or headaches from these, including children with asthma or allergies. Additives such as cellulose gum, xanthan gum, and guar gum are used to thicken or stabilize mass-produced bread, pasta, and tortillas. Has anyone noticed digestive trouble or feels that these gum-laden foods interfere with normal digestion and possibly vitamin absorption? Most people assume whole grain bread is healthy, yet commercial loaves often contain as many artificial additives as refined varieties. Or national brands labels rarely reveal the full story of milling quality or chemical residues even after baking and packaging. Studies show that many flour-based products test positive for pesticide traces that survive heating during everyday bread production. Children are especially vulnerable because their smaller bodies absorb toxins more quickly, increasing long-term health and developmental risks. Frequent consumption of refined grain products almost guarantees weight gain for most people because digestion rapidly converts starch into sugar, which drives hunger and overeating. Aggressive snack marketing fuels cycles of overconsumption and nutrient deficiency, leaving people tired yet still craving more processed breads and pastries. That which looks wholesome on store shelves often provides few vitamins and far more synthetic ingredients than genuine whole foods. His pattern contributes to metabolic imbalance, making preventable diseases increasingly common across industrial food cultures. Store-bought fiber in bread often comes from additives like inulin, rather than genuine bran from whole grains, which better support gut health and balance. Many substitutions inflate nutrition labels while offering limited real benefit to digestion or blood sugar control. Processors use shortcuts that replace nourishment with filler compounds to improve texture, appearance, and shelf stability in modern convenience foods. Fast foods and packaged pastries supply dense calories without micronutrients, leaving consumers undernourished despite high energy intake. Grain crop used for staple food have become central to the Western diet, contributing to trends in diabetes, dementia, heart disease, and some cancers. Global research links higher intake of refined grain products with obesity and chronic inflammation across generations. Real reform would mean replacing industrial flour systems with diverse heritage crops grown under regenerative, low-chemical farming practices. Ultimately, wheat represents both human ingenuity and industrial excess, and the balance between the two will determine whether future diets heal or harm society. When you reach for bread at the store, pause to ask, what is inside? Heat's long trip from lab to loaf is not a simple one. Good food made to last for weeks in a bag often lingers in your body in all the wrong ways. Our favorite sandwich or toast carries more chemical baggage than you ever expected. His story of wheat is a warning against trusting modern grocery shelves more than nature itself. Walk through any grocery aisle, and sweetness appears everywhere in drinks, breads, sauces, snacks, desserts, and even frozen dinners. When a label claims to be free from added sugar, it often replaces it with synthetic syrups and refined chemical substitutes. Companies continually replace natural ingredients with artificial sweeteners, altering taste and health while using bright packaging and misleading marketing claims. Almost every packaged product contains traces of syrups, glucose, or engineered compounds that mimic sugar. In processed foods, the sweetness cycle never stops as manufacturers rely on cane, beet, and corn derivatives in endless formulations. Oceans of extracts, including maltose, dextrose, and chemical syrups, help maintain flavor and keep consumers loyal to consistent in-store textures. Sugar substitutes like xylitol, erythritol, and sorbitol fill diet shelves, promising better choices while still tricking taste buds into craving more. Then natural-sounding options, such as fruit or plant extracts, become refined products of industrial food science rather than real nourishment. Honey scandals now expose imitation blends in which rice or corn syrup replaces authentic nectar in many supermarket jars, making honey one of the most frequently adulterated foods in the world. Some brands mix real honey with sweet syrup and sell it as pure, misleading buyers into trusting fake golden liquid as a source of nutrition. Imported blends often carry labels like wildflower, though they lack the minerals, enzymes, and pollen vital for genuine benefits. Local beekeepers are more likely to maintain integrity by producing uncut honey naturally rich in micronutrients, which are otherwise stripped during bulk refining and ultrafiltration. Modern labels promising zero sugar or sugar-free often hide chemical replacements that appear in everyday meals marketed as healthy convenience. Common staples, including cereal, bread, yogurt, and protein bars, now rely on engineered sweetness to extend shelf life and drive sales. Consumers rarely recognize the many names scattered across ingredient lists, even though regulators track dozens of different sweeteners and sugar forms in their databases. In truth, both added sugar and imitation formulas sustain the same dependence cycle that began with sugar itself. The food industry plays a long game with lab sweeteners. In the 1970s, saccharin, cyclamate, and later aspartame hit mainstream markets, each bringing safety questions and, at times, bans or warnings from regulators after animal studies suggested possible cancer risks. The approval process for artificial sweeteners has been among the most contested in FDA history, with criticism over conflicts of interest and a heavy reliance on industry-funded research. At the same time, independent findings of harm were often downplayed. Today, compounds like aspartame, acesulfame, potassium, and sucralose appear in diet soda, yogurt, gum, and vitamins, despite ongoing debate about their long-term safety. Real sugar from cane is no bargain either. AN stalks are crushed, juiced, clarified, boiled, spun in a centrifuge, filtered, and dried into granules. Defining steps such as carbonation, filtration, and bleaching strip away all plant fiber and natural micronutrients. All you are left with is almost pure sucrose, an empty carbohydrate, a factory product with more in common with industrial input than with fruit or honey. In our bodies, these sweeteners cause real trouble. Sugar and syrup overload cells cause insulin spikes, force the liver to store fat, and drive inflammation throughout the body. Type 2 diabetes, obesity, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease are sweeping the United States and much of the world, with added sugars playing a major role. More than 37 million Americans have diabetes, and many more have prediabetes. While NAFLD affects roughly a quarter of U.S. adults, LTs and obesity rates exceed 40%. Most chronic diseases today owe something to sugar or fake sweeteners. Blood pressure climbs, arteries stiffen, cancer risk rises, and cell damage builds up. Large studies show that high added sugar intake from soft drinks, desserts, and processed foods is associated with higher death rates from heart disease and other causes. One analysis estimated that sugary drinks contribute to well over 100,000 deaths per year worldwide from diabetes and cardiovascular disease. The link between sweeteners and sickness does not stop with obesity or diabetes. Sugar and its chemical copies spark chronic inflammation, the hidden fire behind heart disease, some cancers, and many autoimmune and pain conditions. High sugar intake is tied to worse arthritis, more frequent migraines, mood swings, fatigue, and flare-ups of inflammatory bowel and skin disorders in many people. Patients often receive drugs for pain or inflammation, while the real driver is blood sugar swings and the supercharged level of sweetness in the modern diet. Artificial sweeteners carry their own risks. Hey, they may seem diet-friendly, but long-term studies suggest they are not a free pass. Observational research ties higher intakes of non-caloric sweeteners and diet soft drinks to headaches, weight gain, more belly fat, higher rates of metabolic syndrome, and increased risks of heart attacks, strokes, and overall cardiovascular disease. Some studies also report links with dementia and faster cognitive decline, though debate continues about mechanisms. These chemicals can disrupt gut bacteria, worsen appetite control, alter hormone signals, and may promote fat storage rather than support weight loss. Any regular diet drinkers end up heavier and sicker than people who mainly drink water. Check any random label and you will find sweeteners where you least expect them: in bread, sauces, drinks, yogurt, and protein snacks. A single can of cola typically contains around 35 to 40 grams of added sugar, roughly the total daily limit many guidelines recommend not exceeding, and ice cream or cereal bars can add even more. Manufacturers sweeten daily foods to keep consumers craving more through repeated bursts of quick energy and familiar addictive taste profiles. Those small daily choices build habits far stronger than people realize, shaping weight, mood, and long-term health. Labeling systems make it challenging to avoid hidden sweetness because sweeteners appear under dozens of names that few shoppers recognize. Terms such as agave syrup, malt extract, evaporated cane juice, brown rice syrup, or fruit juice concentrate can mislead buyers who think they are choosing natural products. Public health agencies note that there are more than 60 common names for added sugars alone, not counting artificial sweeteners and sugar alcohols, and many are buried in long, multisyllabic words on colorful packaging. If you cannot pronounce a sweetening additive, there's a good chance it is a refined compound designed to mimic the body's response to sugar. Laboratory sweeteners promise low or zero calories, but bring new problems because they depend on chemical reactions, acids, and stabilizers used in mass production. Some blends can leave traces of solvents or reaction byproducts that the liver must process along with the sweetener itself. Experts caution that not all replacements deliver the intended diet benefits and that the risk may increase with repeated long-term consumption, especially when these products also contain dyes, preservatives, and emulsifiers. Industrial formulations prioritize color and texture over nutrition, turning modern treats into chemistry projects disguised as safe indulgences. Once digested, both added sugars and artificial sweeteners alter blood sugar rhythms and strain organs that regulate glucose, appetite, and metabolism, locking people into daily cycles of craving and fatigue. These same compounds can disrupt healthy gut bacteria, leading to bloating, fatigue, and poor nutrient absorption among frequent consumers of processed foods. Research shows that microbiome imbalances can alter mood, immunity, and digestion throughout the body more quickly than previously believed. So a sweetened diet is not just about weight, but about whole body balance. The health effects of chronic sweetener use are visible everywhere. Insulin resistance, non-alcoholic fatty liver, high blood pressure, constant hunger, and brain fog trace back to excess sugar and fake sugar in many lives. Childhood obesity has more than doubled in recent decades, and nearly 1 in 5 U.S. children now meets criteria for obesity, with sugary snacks, sports drinks, breakfast bars, and fruit-flavored gummies helping drive the disease before adulthood even begins. Sweet foods strip minerals, weaken bones and teeth, and trigger hidden inflammation that can fuel chronic pain, muscle aches, joint stiffness, and autoimmune flares over a lifetime. The marketing engine never stops moving, covering unhealthy realities with comforting words like natural, organic, pure, or wholesome on every label. Packages often promise purity while hiding processed stevia, monk fruit extract, maltitol, agave syrup, or brown rice sweeteners in the fine print. Reading ingredient lists becomes a chemistry lesson filled with long words and complex blends disguised as natural sources of flavor and texture. If the label lists many different sweeteners or confusing scientific names, it is a warning sign. Companies have renamed syrups and sweet compounds using terms such as fructose, dextrose, glucose solids, or concentrated fruit juice, keeping consumers guessing about what they are really eating. Crystalline blends and concentrated juices look harmless but deliver a metabolic burden much the same as that now associated with sugar. Solutions include looking at home more often, reading every label, and refusing products with multiple hidden sweeteners. Choosing small amounts of alcohol, honey, real maple syrup, and whole fruit instead of industrial sweeteners helps lower the total sugar load. Drinking water or herbal tea and retraining your taste buds to appreciate plain, unsweetened food can gradually break your dependence on constant sweetness. Studies show that cutting back on added sugar can improve energy, reduce brain fog, support weight loss, and ease joint and muscle pain within weeks as blood sugar and inflammation begin to settle. Newer sweeteners are largely creations of scientists, not gifts from nature. Childhood obesity, diabetes, low energy, weak immunity, and chronic pain are part of the price society pays for eating lab-made sweets in nearly every meal and snack. Real food does not need sugar in every bite, or even 1 week with far less sweetness can start to improve how you feel. The true taste of real food may surprise you, and you may no longer crave the packaged, sweetened cycle once your body remembers what normal feels like. Store-bought pastries bypass traditional craftsmanship entirely. Frozen dough arrives pre-formed in trucks where chemical stabilizers and emulsifiers dramatically extend shelf life. Commercial bakeries rely heavily on additives such as xanthan gum, guar gum, and mono and diglycerides to control moisture, improve texture, and keep products on shelves longer. Epridge Farm, frozen puff, pastry squares, a standard in many bakeries, contain enriched wheat flour, water, vegetable oils such as palm, soybean, and hydrogenated cottonseed, high fructose corn syrup, salt, mono and diglycerides, soy lecithin, and malted barley flour. Each dough piece can remain stable for months at low freezer temperatures, then thaw and bake into what customers perceive as freshly baked. In-store cupcakes are decorated with industrial icings loaded with artificial colors and concentrated sugars. A typical medium bakery cupcake contains about 350 to 450 calories and 25 to 40 grams of added sugar, depending on the flavor. In context, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day for most women and 36 grams for most men. So 1 cupcake can use or exceed the entire daily allowance. Halloween candy surveys have identified products like candy corn and brightly colored gummies that still contain red dye 3, a color linked to cancer in animal tests and banned from cosmetics since 1990, yet still allowed in some foods in the United States. Dunkin' Donuts style, glazed and powdered donuts use commercial formulations designed for softness and shelf life based on enriched wheat flour, sugar, modified starches, and emulsifiers like datum and monoglycerides to strengthen dough and keep it tender. Ingredient lists also often include artificial flavors, soy lecithin, color agents such as titanium dioxide, and preservatives like potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate to help the donut stay fresh tasting longer. Muffins are essentially cakes in disguise and often surpass cheeseburgers in sugar load. A jumbo muffin from a chain bakery can range from 540 to 680 calories, with more than 40 grams of sugar per serving. At the same time, the coffee shop's scones that look simpler often include flour, sugar, leavening agents, fat, and milk as a base, along with commercial preservatives and artificial flavors. Hain-style scones and muffins frequently contain multiple emulsifiers and stabilizers that never appear on the menu board. International bakery goods carry additional risks due to imported ingredients. In 2023, the FDA recalled several cinnamon applesauce products after finding high lead levels linked to contaminated cinnamon processed abroad. By early 2024, hundreds of U.S. children across dozens of states had elevated blood lead levels from these snacks. Independent testing has also detected concerning levels of heavy metals such as lead and cadmium in some popular chocolate brands sold in the United States. Festival sweets made with imported milk powder, nuts, and colorings can easily become a chemical stew with pesticide residues, heavy metals, and restricted dyes all present in a single bite, yet almost impossible for the consumer to trace. Azo dyes represent a class of synthetic food colorings that can break down into aromatic amines, some of which raise toxicity concerns. European regulators require warning labels or strict limits on certain azo dyes because of evidence linking them to hyperactivity and behavioral changes in some children. Approved dyes, such as sunset yellow, azarubine, amaranth, and allura red, still appear widely in U.S. pastries, candies, and festival treats, but without the same warnings. Food scandals in sweets are not hypothetical. In 2008, more than 50,000 infants in China became ill, and several died after consuming formula adulterated with melamine. This nitrogen-rich chemical falsely boosted measured protein content but caused kidney stones and kidney failure. Subsequent U.S. testing found melamine and related compounds in imported candies, cookies, and milk-based snacks that used contaminated ingredients. When milk powder from a facility with past melamine issues meets nuts with undeclared pesticide residues and colorants restricted overseas, a single pastry can layer multiple hazards that no single inspection catches. Titanium dioxide is widely used to whiten and brighten pastries, frostings, and donuts, creating the pristine look customers expect. In 2021, the European Food Safety Authority concluded that the genotoxicity of titanium dioxide particles could not be ruled out because they can cause DNA and chromosome damage in laboratory studies, and France had already banned its use in food earlier. Animal research has shown intestinal inflammation and precancerous changes in rats fed titanium dioxide, and more recent cell studies report DNA damage and raise concern about long-term cancer risk, especially from nanoparticle forms. Despite these red flags, titanium dioxide remains permitted in many U.S. baked goods and icings. Many supposedly wholesome oat cookies and cream-filled pastries contain propylene glycol and mono and diglycerides to keep them soft for weeks without refrigeration. Propylene glycol acts as a solvent and texture agent and is generally recognized as safe at low levels. Still, high or chronic intake can pose risks for people with kidney or liver problems because they cannot clear it efficiently. Experimental work suggests propylene glycol and similar agents can increase intestinal permeability, which may worsen symptoms in people with inflammatory or autoimmune gut conditions. Cumulative exposure among heavy consumers of packaged baked goods has not been well studied. Festival food vendors and farmers market sellers often operate with less oversight than licensed plants. Rays of powdered sugar donuts, pastries, or baklava laid out on open tables are usually missing ingredient labels, allergen warnings, or lot codes. Pen display invites cross-contamination and temperature abuse, and outbreak investigations have traced pathogens such as E. coli, listeria, and salmonella to festival and imported sweets. In 2025, for example, investigators linked an outbreak of salmonella infections in several states to many pastries produced in Italy. They were distributed through a U.S. warehouse, with laboratory tests confirming contamination in the product samples. Food allergy incidents underline the stakes. In one well-documented case, a wedding guest with a severe nut allergy developed anaphylaxis after a caterer who had promised nut-free food served items that contained undeclared nuts. Recently, federal alerts have highlighted recalls of mixed nut products for undeclared hazelnuts, and regulators warn that individuals with hazelnut allergy face a risk of serious or life-threatening reactions if exposed. When pastries and sweets are sold without clear ingredient and allergen labeling, each bite becomes a gamble for sensitive people. Even specialty holiday sweets have drawn regulatory attention. Some Chinese-style mooncakes sold in North America have tested positive for sodium dihydroacetate, a preservative banned from certain traditional products in China after authorities raised concerns about liver and kidney toxicity from long-term intake. Inspections have also found mooncake brands that used egg wash but failed to declare egg as an allergen on packaging, leaving people with egg allergies unaware of the risk. The recall record for baked goods keeps growing. In mid-2025, more than 2 million pastries and related products were recalled in the United States and Canada over potential listeria contamination, affecting dozens of product types and long distribution chains. Separate investigations that year documented at least one salmonella outbreak tied to imported pastries, with confirmed illnesses across multiple states. These events show how easily contamination in one bakery or plant can travel nationwide. Creamhorns and eclairs often rely on hydrogenated vegetable oils to maintain crisp shells and stable fillings over long shelf lives. Commercial sugar-coated creamhorn can sit at room temperature for many months without spoiling. The pastry dough typically combines hydrogenated fats with synthetic vanilla derived from petroleum or wood-based vanillin, along with emulsifiers and stabilizers. These products are engineered for stability and profit, not nutrition, concentrating refined fats, sugars, and flavor chemicals into a long-lasting, low-value food. The safest path for consuming bakery and sweets requires vigilance. Choose treats with short, clear labels listing ingredients you recognize and can pronounce. Void unlabeled festival treats and rainbow-colored sweets that lack full ingredient and allergen information. When in doubt, ask bakers or vendors directly about dyes, preservatives, and allergens, and treat hesitation or vague answers as a red flag. For those who love pastries, baking at home with a handful of basic ingredients such as flour, butter, eggs, sugar, vanilla, baking powder, and salt avoids many industrial additives, including titanium dioxide, propylene glycol, and synthetic dyes. When seeking international or specialty flavors, look for certified facilities with transparent sourcing and a track record of meeting FDA or equivalent standards, rather than unregistered kitchens or open-air stalls. The best pastries and sweets deserve appreciation, but the industrial versions packed with chemical risks deserve healthy skepticism every time they land on your plate. This ends Part 5. Please go to Part 6, Poisoned at the Grocery Store. Please like, share, and subscribe.